Hello everyone, I am Shashmita. Welcome to Affairs Cloud, a one-stop solution for current affairs. So in our application, you can check out our course Crack Current Affairs, which is exclusively allocated for the current affairs part. So under this course, if you see, we cover the daily, weekly and monthly current affairs on a regular basis. So to purchase any of the course in our application, you can use this code RS10 to avail a 10% discount. You can also follow us in Telegram and Instagram, and a link for that is been mentioned in the description. Today we will be covering November 1st week banking and finance awareness news. Moving to the first news. The first news is about SEBI capping weights in certain indexes. Now if you see, SEBI has released certain reforms to the non-benchmark index aimed at enhancing diversification and reducing concentration risk. Now what is this? See, first of all, what is an index? So index is just a basket of selected stocks that shows how a part of the stock market is performing. Okay, so if you see there's separate index for IT, you have separate index for automobiles. So if you see that particular index, it reflects the situation or the performance of that particular sector. Okay, so here if you see, there are main or representative index of the overall market. So here if you see, these are the benchmark indexes, that is they represent, the benchmark indexes are the one that represent the overall market. So they act as a benchmark or a reference point to measure the performance of portfolios, mutual funds or the market as a whole. Okay, because if you see the mutual funds and the portfolios and all, if you see, they will have the benchmark index as a reference. So if you see in their result page itself, they'll tell that we have crossed the Sensex performance, the Nifty performance, that and all you'll be able to see in the mutual funds brochure and all. Okay, so if you see Sensex is what? Sensex is BSE, Bombay Stock Exchange Index, Sensex. So it has 30 stocks, and Nifty is Nifty 50, the top 50 performing stocks in the market. Here Sensex 30, it has the top 30 performing stocks in the market. Okay, so Sensex will have 30 stocks and Nifty will have 50 stocks. So this represents if you see overall health of the market, or if the index is going up, it means that the overall market is also going up. Okay, so that is why this is set as a benchmark and a reference. Now, when it comes to non-benchmark, okay, if you see, they are sector-specific or thematic indexes focused on particular segment of the market rather than the whole market. So these are the non-benchmark indices. Okay, so they are sector specific or thematic specific. So some good examples of non-benchmark indexes, if you see, it is Nifty IT or Nifty automobiles or Nifty healthcare. So Nifty IT, if you see, it represents the IT sector. Automobile, here the automobile industries, and healthcare, it represents the healthcare industries. Okay, so this is what is the non-benchmark indices. Now, if you see certain regulations that have been introduced or certain reformations that have been introduced by the SEBI, it is for these kind of indices, that is the non-benchmark indices. Now, why was this issued? What was the prevailing problem? It was because these indices, they were dominated by just a few big stocks. That was the problem. So, if you see the Bank Nifty, okay, so here the stocks are the bank stocks. Okay, bank stocks form this index. So here majorly if you see this Bank Nifty, it was dominated by HDFC, ICICI. Now what does this mean as dominated? See, say suppose one particular, say suppose there's an index, okay, A. Now it has 10 stocks. Okay, 10 stocks are part of this index. So stock 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9, 10. Okay, say this has 20% weightage, 20%, and here also 20%, and the remaining together they have 40%, because the weightage if you add, it has to come to 100%, right? So the first 3 stocks, if you see, they have 20%, 20%, 20%, and the remaining all 7 stocks, they have together only 40% weightage. For the first 3 stocks individually, they have 20% weightage. Okay, so here if you see, here just 3 stocks dominate the index. That is what this means as domination. So here what was the prevailing problem there? It was dominated by a few big stocks. So for this example I mentioned, right, Bank Nifty. So here it was majorly dominated by the big stock like HDFC and ICICI. So what is the problem in domination? Here what happens is that if the index is mostly occupied by just very few stocks, there is a very huge risk because there is no diversification, right? Because out of the 100%, if you allocate the stock weightage, the 60% weightage to just top 3 stocks, then it is a huge risk, right? Concentration risk happens, right? This is called as the concentration risk. So you have to reduce or dilute the concentration. For that, you have to do diversification of stocks. Either you have to reduce the stock percentage or add more stocks, and automatically the percentage will dilute. Okay, that is what that is the main objective behind this SEBI's new rule. So what are the new rules? First one is the minimum number of stocks. So SEBI has stated that the minimum number of stocks in an index should be 14. So previously, if you see, it was 12. Okay, now it has been raised to 14. This is the minimum. Maximum they haven't mentioned. The minimum is 14. At least 14 stocks should be part of that index. Okay. Next is top stocks weight. Okay, the top stocks weight should be maximum of 20%, not more than that. Okay, in the previous example we saw that first stock it had a weightage of 20%. That is allowed. Second stock also had 20%. That is allowed. Suppose if the first stock had a weightage of 25%, then that is no more allowed. That has to be reduced to 20%. That is what SEBI is telling. Okay, the highest stock, if you see, it should have a maximum weightage of only 20%, not more than that. Next is combined weight of the top 3 stocks. So what is this? So we saw right in the first example, first, second and third. Each had a weightage of 20%, 20% and 20%. See, the individual weightage of 20% is allowed. We just saw, right? So maximum weightage can be given is 20%. So this is allowed. Individually, if you see, it is allowed. But together, if you see it as an aggregate, it is 60%. Right? No, because it is not allowed, because now SEBI is telling that the top 3 stocks, the combined weight should not be more than 45%. But now if you see the top 3, it comes to 60%. So this also has to be reduced. Individually, it might be right, but if you see it as an aggregate, it is not. So you have to reduce it such that the total comes to 45%. Next is descending order. So you have to mention the stock names in the index in the descending order. So whichever stock has the highest weightage, that should be mentioned first. Next, the second highest weightage. Next, the third highest weightage, and so on. Okay. So the stocks have to be mentioned in the descending order. The highest weightage stock should be mentioned at the top, and the lowest weightage stock should be mentioned at the bottom. Next. So if you see, especially they have told, that is the SEBI has told that how it should be implemented, especially for 3 indices. First 2, if you see, the BankX and the FinNifty. Okay, the SEBI has told that it has to be implemented in a single tranche, at a single go, it means. Okay, that is the weightage and all, it has to be reduced in a single go and should be done before December 31st, 2025. In case of BankX and FinNifty, okay, it has to be implemented in a single tranche and should be done before December 31st, 2025. And for Bank Nifty, if you see, this is frequently or more frequently traded. Okay, compared to the other 2, this is frequently used and widely used. So that is why here they have given that, okay, you can reduce it in 4 tranches. Okay, not in a single tranche. We give you the time of 4 tranches and it should be implemented by March 2026. Okay, this BankX and FinNifty by December 2025, and Bank Nifty, if you see, it is by March 2026. Say for example, HDFC. Okay, in this Bank Nifty, it has a weightage of 28%. So in the first tranche, say it has to be reduced to 26%. Then in the second tranche to 23%. Then in the third to 21%. Then in the fourth to 18.5%. Okay, lesser than 20 or equal to 20. Okay, so in 4 tranches you can reduce it. For Bank Nifty alone, that option is given and it has to be achieved by March 2026. Okay, so these are the various changes that have been notified by the Security Exchange Board of India. We have launched a new course called Static Banking Awareness course. Now this course will be helpful for students who are preparing for the banking exams and for the regulatory body exams. And also, recently you would have seen Paytm Bank in news frequently. So when an aspirant reads this news, he would have ample number of questions like what is a payment bank, what are the norms for it, and which is the committee that has launched it. So this static banking awareness course lays a foundation to the current banking and finance news. Now, you have to download our Careers Cloud to access this course. Once you have logged into our app, you can go and click this all courses icon, and then you'll be redirected to this page. In this, you have to go and click the static banking awareness course, and under the details tab, you will be able to see a brief about this course. And under the part tab, it will contain all the contents, all the topics of the contents that are currently available in this course. We are working on this continuously, and this will be completed within 2 months. Under the free tab, you can go and access one content, that is the origin and development content, for free. You can go and read this content and have an idea about this course. After reading this content, do attend the quiz that is also available under the same tab. Now, our team has allocated ample amount of time and resources to curate this content. We have created this content from various books and from various verified websites. Our content is better than any book that is available in the market. This is because we update this content on a dynamic basis. For example, there are currently 39 DRTs that are available in the country now. In future, if one more DRT is created or added, then it would become 40. So we would update this content on a dynamic basis. But in case of books, you have to wait for the next publication for this updated content. Nowadays, a lot of practical questions have been asked in the banking exams. For example, how many public sector banks are available on the stock exchange? Which is the payment bank that is being listed on the stock exchange? So, we try to cover as many practical questions as possible in this course. Apart from this, we also provide you a question bank that will contain around 3000 questions and the previous year questions along with it. We also have a dedicated tab that will release the important RBI notification and the frequent news released by the RBI. You can use this code B15 to avail 15% discount. This is one of the highest discounts that we have offered until now. So do avail this code B15 while you purchase the course. The next news is about awards. Global Finance, a New York based publication, it had awarded State Bank of India the world's best consumer bank 2025 and best bank in India 2025. So 2 awards were given to State Bank of India. So this Global Finance, if you see, the ceremony happened in Washington DC along with the annual meetings of IMF and World Bank. Okay, in this period the meeting happened and the Global Finance had presented these awards. So if you see State Bank of India, it has a total consumer base of around 520 million and 65,000 new customers each day. And also the most important application of the State Bank of India is the YONO. You only need one is the most important application of the State Bank of India. So it was launched in 2017. It has around 100 million customers with 10 million daily active users. Okay. So people who are going for State Bank of India interview, you can use this information. Okay. Next is City Union Bank. It has secured a 50 million USD. From whom? From International Finance Corporation, one of the arm of World Bank. Okay. So where will the money be put into use? It will be used to provide loan for solar and wind projects. To whom? To the MSME sector. Okay. So the loan will be provided to the MSMEs. Okay. Which in turn will be used for solar and wind power projects. So here you have to remember City Union Bank, the amount involved, that is 50 million USD, and International Finance Corporation. Next is NIPL, that is NPCI's international arm. It has partnered with Razorpay's subsidiary. The subsidiary name is Razorpay Curlic. Razorpay Curlic, it is the subsidiary of Razorpay. Why? To enable UPI transactions in Malaysia. So here if you see, what is that? Suppose an Indian tourist, okay, he or she visits visits Malaysia, okay, and wants to purchase something from a merchant. So that person, Indian tourist can scan the QR code, and if you see, the amount will be debited from the Indian's account, okay, from the Indian tourist account in the rupee and credited in Malaysian ringgit to the merchant's account. Okay, debited from the Indian tourist in the form of rupee, and it will be credited in the form of ringgit, Malaysia's currency, in the merchant's account. So here if you see, the Razorpay will connect the Malaysian merchants to the UPI network for this payment handling process. Okay, so NIPL and Razorpay Curlic have partnered for this purpose. Next is Indian Post Payment Bank. It has signed an MOU with EPFO. Why? To provide doorstep digital life certificate services to the pensioners. Okay, so pensioners, they don't have to come to the banks to get the digital life. Here the Indian Post Payment people will go, that is the postmen and the Gramin Dak Sevaks, they will go to provide the digital life certificates to them. So if you see the Indian Post Payment Bank, it has a very strong network of 1.65 lakh post offices, okay, and 3 lakh postal service providers. So they will do this service. If you see, the cost of delivering, going on the doorstep to provide this digital life certificate, that will be borne by the EPFO. Okay. Next is Travel Fintech Scapia and Federal Bank. Together they have introduced family add-on credit card feature and also launched Scapia Store, India's first travel-focused shopping platform. So here basically, if you want, to buy any travel-related gadgets or appliances or even clothes and accessories, that you can do it in this Scapia Store. Okay, that is available in this Scapia Store. But what is this family add-on credit card? Say suppose there is a person A. Okay, so he has a credit card with a limit of 10 lakhs rupees. He has in his family, wife B is there, son C is there, and daughter D. Okay, 3 people are there. So now what he does is that he adds on, okay, he adds his family members to his credit card. So here if you see, now he can add maximum up to 3 people. So here he adds on B, C and D, and each one gets a credit card also. Okay, this is the primary credit card. Okay, a person is having a credit card, right? That is the primary credit card with limit of 10 lakhs. Now he is adding on 3 more credit cards and giving it to the wife, son and daughter. So here if you see, these 3 limits together and also the A's card together, if you see, the maximum limit that can be utilized is only 10 lakhs. The limit to the credit card is being provided to B, C and D. It is from this limit only. That is, it is from the 10 lakhs limit. They don't get any new limit. Okay. So within the 10 lakhs limit only, they can do any spending. So when the credit card is issued to each individual person, even a limit can be set for each individual person. Okay. So this B, C and D, they will get a physical card. Okay. So after receiving the physical card, they can set PIN and utilize it for various other purposes. Okay. This is what means that family add-on cards, a maximum of 3 add-on cards can be given. Next is SBI executes the first gold transaction on IIBX. Now what is IIBX? IIBX is Indian International Bullion Exchange. As what? As special category client. First of all, what is this IIBX? Indian International Bullion Exchange. It is a marketplace established in the GIFT City, okay, in Gujarat to boost the gold and silver bullion market trade. So basically, if you see in IIBX, people will buy and sell gold and silver of very high purity in the form of bars and coins. Okay, so here before previously if you see, say suppose any jeweler, say suppose GRT Jewellers or Tanishq Jewellers, if they want to import gold, they will go to their they will go to the respective banks, okay, and they will tell the bank, say X bank, they will tell the bank that I want to import so and so gold. Now this X bank will contact the gold supplier who's outside India, okay, and then he will tell a price. So he will buy it from that seller, and this X will give it to the Tanishq or GRT Jewellers, okay. So here if you see, each jeweler and the bank, they will have a separate bilateral agreement between them. So the prices, if you see, it will vary, okay. Whatever price has been quoted by them, that has to be agreed, and the prices will also be vary from one agreement to another. And also if you see, this big jewelers, they may not have a problem, but small jewelers, they will have a big impact, they will have a big problem because many middlemen will get involved. So they will quote even more higher prices. So small jewelers get affected by this. But here, because of the introduction of the IIBX, just like if you want to buy a share or a stock, you can log into your stock exchange, right? You have a broker, you place the order in the broker, and the broker executes the trade on behalf of you. Okay, you can directly buy or sell the shares from the stock exchange. Similarly, here also you can buy the gold or silver directly from the IIBX. Okay, so here if you see, say the Tanishq partner bank is State Bank of India. So here the order will be, the Tanishq will tell that I want this much amount of gold. Then the State Bank of India will place the order in the IIBX. Okay, it can place the order in the IIBX on behalf of him, on behalf of the State Bank of India, or on behalf of its client. Okay, so the order will be placed. If you see, just like how the shares price are listed on stock exchange, it keeps on varying, right, from one second to another. Depending upon the demand supply, the shares price also increases or decreases. Similarly, the gold price also increases or decreases in the bullion exchange. Directly you can place the order, it will get executed, and the gold will be given to the State Bank of India, and the State Bank of India in turn will give the gold to the Tanishq or the other jewelers. Okay, so this is how this Indian International Bullion Exchange works. Okay, so now the State Bank of India, now it has placed its first gold transaction as special category client. Next is RBI has launched 3 key surveys. So if you see, first one is the inflation expectation survey. The RBI conducts the survey on a regular basis. If you see, these surveys are an input to the Monetary Policy Committee. See, we know that monetary policy meetings are held on a regular basis, right? So they, in what will they do in that committees or in the meetings? They will assess the situation of the economy. Okay, how is the inflation? How is the money supply? How is the liquidity? How is the inflation expectation? So all this will be assessed, and depending upon that, they will take the decision whether to increase the money supply or decrease the money supply, or increase the repo rate or decrease the repo rate or maintain the repo rate. All this will take place. So for that, you have to know how is the situation. How will you know? By conducting surveys. Okay, so such survey is one, inflation expectation survey. So here if you see, it is conducted across 19 major cities, and these are the 19 major cities. Yes, it is very important for you to remember the 19 major cities, because they might ask you in the exam that which among the following is not one among the city under the inflation expectation survey. So it is very important. Please remember the 19 major Indian cities. Okay, it's very easy. Just read it thrice or 4 times. That's enough. Ahmedabad, Bengaluru, Bhopal, Bhubaneswar, Chandigarh, Chennai, Delhi, Guwahati, Hyderabad, Jaipur, Jammu, Kolkata, Lucknow, Mumbai, Nagpur, Patna, Raipur, Ranchi, Thiruvananthapuram. Okay, so these are the 19 cities. Just read it 3 times or 4 times, you will remember it automatically. The next is the Rural Consumer Confidence Survey. So here if you see, the survey is conducted with the, so the participants of the survey, if you see, there are rural and the semi-urban households people. Okay, so they will go and ask questions like, what is your point or what is your view on the current and 1 year ahead expectation of the economic situation, the employment scenario, how is the employment now, how will the employment be after 1 year, or how will the unemployment be after 1 year, how will the price trend, like the vegetable prices, the fruits prices, how is it now, how will it be 1 year, and also the income, how much you are getting now, how much you think you will get after 1 year. So all these kind of questions will be asked to the households, and their answers will be recorded. Okay, so here if you see, it is the people who participate are from the rural and the semi-urban areas, and this is conducted across 31 states. Next is urban consumer confidence, similar to the rural consumer confidence, but here the difference is that it is conducted across 19 cities. Here rural consumer confidence, it is conducted across 31 states, but this urban consumer confidence is conducted across 19 cities. This is the main difference. Okay. Thank you for watching the session. I hope you had enjoyed it. We're also available in Telegram under the name AffairsCloud_official. We also have an Instagram handle. Thank you.